Everything Neighborhood 1.
All right, what time is it?
I'm not sure because my phone is recording us.
Right. So it's got to be probably close to 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Kids are at school. Mm-hmm. What it took to record this?
Really, it took a lot. From the setup.
Oh my God. We're YouTubers now.
Oh my God, YouTubers.
Are we YouTubers or are we just telling our life? We want to put our life story out there.
We're changing and now we want to kind of dip in.
Right.
Putting our life out there.
Right.
People to see.
Right.
Because we real dope people.
I think so. We've been together since 15. We were 15. Yeah. Also, what we do in real estate, when you research it online, everything looks gravy, everything looks easy, everything looks like it's going to have a happy ending. And it's not like that at all.
No, not at all. And people don't really tell the nightmares. They don't tell the horror stories or, the bad experience that they go through to get in the house, on the market, to the closing table. They don't really dive into that too much.
I feel like for every story that we're going to tell moving forward, some of them don't even have lessons to them because you just try to keep that shit pushing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of our motto, keep it pushing. Some come up, figure it out real quick. We harp on it, probably curse somebody out. Well, I'll probably not even curse somebody. I'll probably call you, curse them out.
Yeah.
And, and we just try to get past it.
Yeah.
Try to get past it.
But even when we do have those things where we have learned a lesson or things have come up that have been like the worst of the worst, we are able to pivot. So we're able to, make change quick or adapt to whatever's coming up. So I think that's pretty dope.
Right. Well, interest rates today are at 6.98%.
Yeah.
We purchased our house at a, 3 something?
3.2.
3.2%. And that shit high.
Yeah, that's up there.
Not the interest rate, but the mortgage is up there from what we were paying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine purchasing a house in this market.
No.
Please continue to purchase because we're continuing to sell.
We definitely are.
Continue to purchase, but dang, 6.98%. I guess that's normal on the grand scheme of real estate, But we got, we had gotten spoiled over the last couple of years with the 2%, 3%, some of them 1-something%.
Yeah.
Just another thing. But get this lady. So
Tina's story is
Tina's story. That's what we're calling this story, y'all. Man. It's a lot that happened in this house. As y'all seen the photos and stuff where, the house that took 11 30-yard dumpsters to clean out. There were everything from rats to snakes in this property. Mm-hmm. No roaches.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Roaches, that's crazy.
No roaches. Which I prefer the rats and the snakes because you can get rid of those. The roaches, it takes forever to get rid of those.
Well, I don't want any of that. That's why I'm not going in there.
For sure.
For
sure. You haven't been in there until you told us to get it exterminated, get it cleaned out, demoed, which is almost done. But what happened at this closing table with Tina?
So, imagine it took a lot of time just to get to the closing table. So when we get there, imagine I picked her up,
right?
Transported her to the attorneys, and I allow her to go in the room by herself because again, I'm the buyer, she's the seller, and technically you don't get those two in the same room at the same time to sign their documents or go over their paperwork. So I allow her to go in with the attorney. All I hear is noise going on. So I'm assuming it's Miss Tina. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, so she's having a problem. And I'm already irritated just because of the situation. But she's in there going off. The attorney comes out to talk to me and basically was saying she wants to talk to you. She wants, she's not okay with the numbers.
So the numbers as far as like the purchase price?
The numbers as far as what her takeaway was. Okay. And obviously the purchase price.
Okay.
Because we purchased that property for $127,500.
Right.
And as far as the EMD, we gave her $500, which that's another story for another day. But we gave her $500 for the EMD, and She took that and misused that. Then now we're at the closing table. She's trying to negotiate her terms. So now
after she's already signed the contract, after everything, and usually we don't go to closing with the person that's selling the property. But this was a unique situation where she didn't have transportation. You had to drive around to look for her.
Yeah, had to search
because she was homeless, even though she was selling us her property, but she was homeless. And that, that was a big hurdle itself, just trying to find this lady. Obviously, we don't know where she's at, and for you to be able to find this lady these times, that's amazing in itself. But so you got to the closing table. She had already signed the contract. This was months later. She gets to the closing table. What was her appearance? Tell the people, what was she wearing when she...
Y'all, she tried to put something together to make it look decent, but she just looked real rough.
She walked in there with a fur coat on.
She had a fur coat on. I mean, her hair was... She had dyed her hair a certain color. I don't remember the color that it was, but she tried to put herself together the best she could, but it just was not giving. I mean, I was embarrassed for her.
Right.
But she came in there and presented herself, and she was alert oriented. She told him everything she wanted, what she wanted me to agree to, which, like I said, we're at the closing table. She was like, I'm not, basically saying she's going to back out. She's not selling the house.
Was this lady high?
She was not. At the closing table, she was not. She was like literally like our car ride there. She was telling me what, she wanted to do with her money, with, just her overall future. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is a great day because she is sober. She seemed well. Although her clothes was just in a disarray.
Right.
But I mean, for the most part, she was good. But we're in there. I go in the closing table. Go in the closing office, and then she's just like, sitting there like, Miss April, this is not okay. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm trying to keep my composure just because, again, I was already irritated. She was upset about her water bill that she has to pay because she never paid it. So I think she owed like $300 additional. And she stated she already paid like $1,000 and some odd dollars towards it. So she was ready to back out because she didn't want to pay the $300. And she didn't want... She felt that we needed to give her money today because she expected her money and her payment today.
She came to closing, and this is like, I don't know, what you explained to her prior to that closing date, but she came to closing anticipating a bag of cash for $127,000.
Yes.
That you give her. As soon as we signed, you dropped that $127,000 off right there. That's what she was expecting.
That's definitely what she was expecting. Mind you, I told Miss Tina several times that at closing is when you go over your documents and sign. You do not get a check that day. That it typically that never happens. So she was expecting to get her bag that day.
So obviously she couldn't, get paid at closing. So when they ran back out, when the attorneys ran out to get you in the lobby, what did he say to you? What? He
was like, she's not okay with the contract. I tried to review everything with her, and there's a couple of things she wants to talk to you about. So that's when I was just, like, okay, and I proceeded in the office.
Wow. Crazy. And then when you got there, like, how did y'all come? Like, because obviously we closed. So what happened?
Yeah, obviously, I'm trying to close it. Like, I'm like, at this point, this is ridiculous. We went over this several times, and now you wait till we get to the office to bring up or voice your concerns or your request. Because she was asking me for, what was it? She wanted me to give her $1,500 that day at closing day to go towards.
I think you called me. It was 25 or 2,000 or something like that.
Yes, initially she wanted 2,500, and I was like, "That's not happening."
Right.
And I told her that, so that was not even going to be a conversation moving forward with her at that time. But then she started to go up, and she literally sat at the office table, wrote down all her expenses because, mind you, she had a lot of stuff she needed to get out the property. So how was you going to get it without a U-Haul or without some type of moving service?
Yeah.
So that was the plan. Like she wanted 8 days to be able to go have access to the property to get her belongings. So she wrote all that stuff down, how much it would cost for her to basically do all of that, as well as have shelter for the next couple of days until she does get her funds.
Right.
So we came to an agreement. What was the agreed price?
I think it was $1,500.
Yeah, I think it was $1,500.
$1,200 to $1,500, something like that.
So I gave her the $1,500. After we left, we wrote it out, and I said 8 days. I granted Miss Tina 8 days access to the property between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
And she roped you up there.
And she rode me up there. So
now, after the closing, she finally signed when you agreed.
Yes.
Did you drop her back off at home?
So see what happened was, she was like, okay, so Miss Tina, let's just say that she is a homeless individual. She loves to dumpster dive. So that's her thing, which, it is what it is. So I told her, I was like, well, Miss Tina, I have to go to the bank in order to get you the $1,500. Imagine y'all, what she had on. I was embarrassed for her. So I just didn't want her to go in the store or go into the bank with me because I wasn't going to leave her in the car.
Right.
So she was like, well, drop me off at that hotel you had me stay at the last time where that you basically assisted me with having shelter at. Drop me off there because they got my stuff in the dumpster. And I was like, okay.
They threw her stuff in the dumpster the night before at the hotel because of some wild shit happened.
Yes. Some other wild stuff. Yeah, another story for another day. But yeah, so I dropped her off the dumpster. I go to Walmart because I'm like, okay, that's the quickest bank I'm going to go to real quick. I pulled out the cash, took it back to her. And I told her, I said, Miss Tina, I have somewhere to go. Like I have another appointment. I have to be somewhere. And I told her when I dropped her off, look, you're going to have about 15 minutes max. So, I won't try to rush her, but I was trying to let her know, like, I have another appointment. No, you trying
to rush her. She done smacked you up for $1,500.
Yeah, $1,500. I'm like, yeah, she got to go on ahead. So mind you, I went to go give her the cash. And I said, hey, Miss Tina, let's go so I can take you back. She was like, no, I have to get all of my stuff. Let's just say this. When I picked her up, she's...
what?
Because I something hit you and you're like, what? That don't smack me. So when I picked her up, my jaw was irritated. She had all her stuff in this cart. And I'm like, all that stuff ain't fitting in my car, man. Like, I'm not doing it.
Right.
So she was like, okay, let me just get my most important pieces because if they go, I don't have anything. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I let her pile all this stuff in my car. So she ended, mind you, I'm giving her the cash to go, so I can take her back to where she was at. She said, nah, leave me here. If you got to go somewhere, leave me here. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, in my mind, she has capacity. She also got $1,500. And I said, hey, Miss Tina, this is $1,500 cash. Make sure you put it somewhere safe. So she ended up putting it in her book bag and zipped it up so she was good. But yeah, that was real intense. But at that closing table, it was a lot of going back and forth. And, she was flustered. I was flustered. But I was able to come up with an agreement with her.
And this typically don't happen at a closing table. People think, like, when you go to the closing table, I want people to understand that you're not negotiating at the closing table. Not. Everything is already negotiated prior to you signing the contract. This lady, I don't know how, I don't know why, she thought we were coming to closing with $127,000, And obviously we didn't trust her at that time because of everything that happened up to that point. I'm not going to lie, out of all of our deals, I never told you this, I ain't think we was going to close that one.
I know. Look, see, I was telling you the whole time. No,
you have been telling me.
I was so upset.
Every time something happens,
this a dead deal. I said, Shy, this a dead deal.
Every time something happens, this a dead deal. I'm thinking like, bruh, did you just? I'm thinking you cursed this lady out or something.
I mean,
I know
it's gotten there a couple of times. It has gotten there a couple of times.
I know you did something, and the whole time, you know what I was thinking? Shit, we can make about 80, 90,000 on this thing though. And it's really nothing to do. I probably been there 2 months. Yeah. 80, 90 grand. Easy. So, I
mean, it all worked out, well, for the most part. I mean, there's a lot of other in-between things that, we'll definitely discuss along the way, along the way of Tina's story.
Tina's story, yeah. You know what's crazy? Usually, our nightmares and everything happens, while we're in the property, during the construction side of it. We haven't even started the construction side of it. I think we cleaned it out.
I mean, yeah.
That was it. Yeah. That was it. And like I said, that thing took 11 dumpsters to clean that house out. Before we even demoed, that was just to clean the house out. Would you say this is worse than that Kent house we had?
No, because I don't.
That smell,
I don't. Yeah, I
that
don't
cat
do the
smell.
cat smell. I don't do cats. I can't. No. Mm-mm. The other one was worse for me.
I think the cat house was worse in like the aesthetics of like the smell, everything.
Yeah, just everything about it.
That
The
was worse, but
backyard.
this one was. It's far like it was like worse to clean, I guess. Well, I don't know. That cat house was different.
Yeah.
That cat house was different. Where do you think Tina's at now?
Probably in a dumpster. Dumpster that.
With all that money.
Yes.
Dang.
But I mean, you could tell. I mean, I could tell where her. Obviously she has goals on things that she wants to do, but just drugs will really take a hold of you. That's just. I feel like for Tina's story, that was her. One of her many crutches.
You know what's funny? Because when we got the property from an inspector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got the property from an inspector, and he said, I think he said to you, he didn't think anyone else would close that house.
Yeah, nobody.
That house shouldn't have closed.
They shouldn't have. I mean,
It
I
shouldn't have
really.
closed.
When I tell you, I pride myself. Kudos to me.
Yeah,
Because it
for
really,
sure, yeah.
it really showed me like it really just challenged me. That was a challenge, and I love challenges. But I definitely knocked that one out the park. I'm just gonna, pat myself on the back.
No, you did. Consistent. You was consistent. You kept showing up because we didn't even offer her the most money.
Yeah.
Coming into it, but it was like everything else that you did because she don't understand that we walked her through the entire probate process. It has to be a job or some type of fee you could have charged. Didn't charge her for that, and everyone always feel like someone's getting over on them.
Yeah.
Our intention was never to get over
At
on
all.
her because we walked away. This deal set how long? Probably 2 months before she even reached back out to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we made our offer.
And our original offer was $115,000.
114.
114?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 114. But
yeah.
So
we tried to hit her on top of her
127.5.
head. And that 127.5 it's still a good price.
Yeah.
We was trying to get about $300,000 for that deal. Somebody buy it at a 6.9 interest rate. You gonna go bankrupt in 10 years.
Damn. Bankrupt.
Them interest rates high, bro.
Yeah, they are real high.
Mr.
So,
Powell gotta do something.
For all you homeowners, I definitely
Something with
recommend make sure you got your savings account, your everything you need to tackle these interest rates,
for sure,
mortgage payments, and all.
Oh, I know what I want to tell you. Mm-hmm. You know what I was thinking about? Mm-hmm. What the hell is up with this NAR settlement with these realtors?
Realtors, wholesalers. I mean, things are changing.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah,
we got
to talk about that. That's another story because I mean, it's making people change up.
Illegal.
Wholesaling is becoming illegal.